Honestly, guys, I'm gonna get serious in this video. The workforce is cooked. It's so cooked. I don't understand why that system is in place. I think the workforce nowadays, and even in general, but I think nowadays mostly, is intentionally designed to numb your spirit. And I think it's completely a trap. The job market, just working a job, having a boss, having colleagues who, you may not even like them. It's like this is all designed to keep you in that vibration of of needing. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so hard because to escape the workforce and do your own thing and find a way around that, it doesn't happen very often. Okay? And I'm not saying it won't happen to you. You can absolutely make it happen. I'm just saying that a lot of people don't do it because of how difficult it is. And also because sometimes, they're just not in a position to do it. Like if they have kids or, fairly large commitments, it makes it more difficult. Which is why, again, if you don't have those, just go all in. But my point being is I think it's a trap. I think it's designed to keep you within the confines of needing. It's terrible. And I'm at a point where, look, I'm not saying that a job is bad. We all need a job. I'm working right now, okay? In order to get to the next step, a job is basically required. Okay? Everyone who's been a successful business owner, if they didn't get lucky, by living at home with good parents and getting a lot of inherited wealth or just being a trust fund baby, they had to work a job, okay? So I'm not shaming jobs. What I'm saying is a problem is that it's the way you basically it's the way you change from being in those jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's kind of a thing where you're forced to be someone else who you're not. And the issue with that is it can essentially it can essentially put you in a state of mind where you're no longer authentic and it can bleed into your life for the rest of your life. It's a problem because when you develop certain principles or values or things like that, a job can break those boundaries because you're forced to manipulate or you have to you have to and when I say forced to manipulate, I'm not saying that you know in a malicious way, but it's like you intentionally have to be nice. It's like you intentionally have to not step on anyone's toes, and if you disagree they might fire you and you lose your money and you could become homeless. It's such a mess because even if you have principles and values and you stand on that 10 toes down, the risk can be homelessness nowadays, and that's a serious problem. And that's what I don't like about this whole workforce system. It's because it's almost like it's intentionally designed for you to dull your flame, to dull your spark. And I have a big problem with that, guys. And it's just it doesn't feel good that you have to mingle with other coworkers that you don't even know these people. I'm gonna be real, you don't know your coworkers. These people are simply strangers and you happen to work at the same place because you guys at this point of time are in the same system. And it may sound simple and it may sound like it's not a big deal, but think about it this way. When you look at a job like a restaurant job, when you work as a server or a cook or you work in the hospitality industry, for example, and the reason why I say that is because it attracts all type of people. That's the thing. It attracts all type of people, which is very, very it's a little bit unnerving in a way because when you're at a certain place in life, and I'm not talk about like, oh, you have $1 million. I mean more so like when you're at a certain level in life mentally, you're going to attract certain types of people that you get along with. That's just the way it is. If you think a certain way, you're probably going to energetically repel people who are maybe not on the same lifestyle or their values don't align. However, when you're in the workplace, you're trying to get your paycheck or whatever, or you're trying to build a life, like, is that simple? You're trying to survive. You're basically locked in with people who you actually would not get along with, but you're in the same place 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day if you're kind of part-time or whatever. That's kind of messed up. Like, and I'm not saying that, you know, I'm perfect and everyone else in the job force is not. That's not it. It's just rather like you're not compatible with most of these people. So that's another issue I have with the workforce too, is that like you're basically forced to mingle with people that you shouldn't have to mingle with. It may not be because they're bad, but you're just, again, you're not compatible. There's no like reason for you guys to ever be in the same room ever in your life. Like, you shouldn't even cross paths. But because you're forced into that system, into that confine, it has to happen, which I find is messed up. That's the problem I have with it. And, you know, I firmly believe that it's hard to actually get what you want in life if you're not authentic. And it's not about, being blunt all the time or whatever. Like, I think that's important. Honesty is very important. It's definitely a virtue. However, I'm more so referring to your way of life. If you sit down for 10 minutes and you journal exactly what you want out of life, okay? You're actually stepping into your authenticity. And now you're observing what your desires and your wants and your needs are. A job just kind of throws you off your mental game, okay? I'm not saying, there's no responsibility you can take. Like, you definitely can. But, like, even if you're super disciplined and you're just, clock in, clock out, whatever, it's like 10% of your energy will be affected. I guarantee you. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Like, no one wants to work a job that they don't like, or even a job that they may like, but they know there's something more. It's like that already is going to affect you. Like, that already is going to cause some slight issues for you. But you have to do it sometimes because, you may have commitments. Like, you don't have to. Like, if you're in a position where you don't need to, then yeah. But it's like, at the end of the day, moving forward in life, it takes money. Like, don't let people lie to you and say, it means, like, nah. It takes money, okay? Anyways, my point is, you should absolutely be self-aware enough to know why you're in the job, to know what you're doing there, to know your boundaries, to know, and it's not even boundaries like, oh, like a coworker might give you a hard time. Like, I get that. I'm more so talking about like boundaries with yourself, where it's like, do I really want to put 100% into this job? Or do I want to put maybe 60%? They call it quiet quitting nowadays. And do I want to put the rest of my energy and time into that, into my dream, into my side project? So you have to ask yourself these questions. It's like, okay, I picked a job that I work less, the pay's still okay, but I have more time to do my thing. Well, is that important to you? Or would you rather get a job that you work 12 hours a day and get like loads of money, but you just don't have enough time and energy, but you can push through it for 6 months and then you have like however much of a lump sum of money you want? And it's like, you have to ask yourself these questions. You have to figure out what you want. It's like, if you want to take a double shift, it's like, do you need that money? Will it help you in some ways? Money always helps, but will it in this way? And I guess my point being is, I think it's very important to have a life outside of work so that you can self-actualize as much as you can. Because when you self-actualize, you begin to develop, a certain awareness about yourself that you can bring in any situation. And that's very important, especially for the workforce, where it's one of those things, in a sense, where the outer voices are telling you who you should be and what mold you should fit and what identity that you should become. But if you're so self-aware and, you have an idea of what you want out of life, then that type of thing is not going to sway you. Like, your family can tell you as much as they want about how you should do this and that, but if you know what you want, you're not going to follow it just to please them. Like, you might tell them, oh yeah, I'll do that just so that they can get off your ass, but yeah, you're just going to do your own things. But anyways, guys, I just want to say, the workforce is a problem. It's corrupt in those ways. And I can address it in terms of, economically in a later video. I didn't really want to get into that in this video. It's more so internally how it could taint you in some way. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, for the setups, it's going to be some remote spots, but we're going to try different things and see what works. All right.